professionalturf.com.
Well, let's go to where angels fear to tread. A now deported illegal alien. This is the case of the fellow from Maryland who was in the infamous jail in El Salvador, right? His name is Abrego Garcia.
Okay.
There seems to be two stories about the fellow. One, that he's a sweet, innocent guy who was torn away from his wife and daughter under the guise of being a gangster or a terrorist and deported to a jail in El Salvador. The other story is that he's the terrorist who should have been deported, and a now deported illegal alien accused of being an MS-13 gang member who was living illegally in Maryland has a record of being a violent repeat wife beater.
Ooh.
This is new. This is Fox News. I'm not seeing it covered elsewhere. A violent repeat wife beater, according to court records filed in a Prince George's County, Maryland District Court by his wife. Fox News obtained the written domestic violence allegations filed in court against 29-year-old Kilmar Abrego Garcia by his wife, Jennifer Vasquez. In 2021, she filed these papers. In the filing, written in Vasquez's own handwriting, she alleges Abrego repeatedly beat her, writing, "At this point, I am afraid to be close to him. I have multiple photos and evidence, videos of how violent he can be and all the bruises he has left me." Vasquez alleged that Abrego Garcia punched and scratched her on the eye, leaving her bleeding. He also allegedly threw her laptop on the floor. Boy, we start deporting people for throwing computers, I'm in trouble.
You'd have been deported in
I
what?
would have been gone in the 80s.
1984?
Yeah. As Democrats and media outlets clamor for the return, of Salvadoran migrant Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was deported to a maximum security prison in his home country, publicly available domestic violence court records cast doubt on the media narrative about his innocence. She wrote that on another day, Garcia got angry again, started yelling, and ripped her shirt and shorts off before grabbing her arm and leaving marks. Vasquez recalled 2 times in 2020 that Abrego Garcia hit her. In November of 2020, he hit me with his work boot, she wrote. In August of 2020, he hit me in the eye, leaving a purple eye. Additionally, the Department of Homeland Security released court documents regarding Garcia, which cast further doubt on the Democrats' narrative about his innocence. Now, so far, are we good? Are we believing everything we found here so far? This is her testimony. Okay. It's filed Prince George's County Court records. Are we okay, everyone?
Sure.
Staff,
John.
Yeah. So far, John.
Yeah.
DHS released new documents this week, which it says definitively proves Abrego Garcia, who was deported to the El Salvadoran mega prison, terrorism confinement center, last month, is a member of the notorious MS-13 gang. Okay. DHS released documents this week, which it says definitively proves Garcia is a member of the MS-13 gang. According to Prince George's County Police Department interview sheet shared with Fox News by DHS, local police discovered Abrego Garcia during a murder investigation. Police found him loitering in a Home Depot parking lot with other known MS-13 gang members in possession of illicit drugs in 2019. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yep. The police department's gang unit MS-13 intelligence squad conducted an interview with Abrego Garcia and contacted a past proven and reliable source who identified him as an active member of MS-13 with the Westerns clique, with the rank of Chiqueo and the moniker of Chele. All right?
Okay.
The news comes as Democrats clamor for the return of Garcia, who they say was wrongly deported to a maximum security prison in his home country as part of the Trump administration's efforts to crack down on illegal migrant crime. Last week, the Supreme Court upheld a lower court's decision ordering the Trump administration to arrange Garcia's return. The court required the government to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from custody in El Salvador and to ensure that his case is handled as it would have been had he not been improperly sent to El Salvador. The Trump administration agreed to clear any administrative obstacles keeping Abrego from returning to the U.S., but Attorney General Pam Bondi has said that returning them is up to El Salvador. If they want to return him, that's not up to us. Okay. This has caused outrage among Democrats, many of whom have begun referring to him as Maryland man. There's a Florida man, you know that.
Right.
Yeah. Maryland man who was wrongly deported. Some have even suggested that he was kidnapped by the Trump administration.
I don't think that's. Wait, I gotta give it that.
I don't think that.
We don't know that.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia was wrongly deported to El Salvador as part of the Trump administration's government-funded kidnapping rampage. Representative Maxwell Frost, Democratic Florida, posted on social media. He is rotting away in a foreign prison while his life is in danger. We need to go there now to make sure he's okay. On Wednesday, Senator Chris Van Hollen, a Democrat of Maryland, flew to El Salvador to visit Garcia in prison and work to secure his release. His trip was criticized by many, including the mother of Rachel Morin, a 39-year-old Maryland mom who was raped and murdered by a Salvadoran illegal immigrant in 2023. To have a senator from Maryland who did not even acknowledge or barely acknowledge my daughter in the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandchild without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone who's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more rights than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren? I don't understand this, she said. That's quite a wrinkle in the story, but I don't think she's alleging that Garcia was the one who murdered and raped her daughter.
Correct.
On Wednesday, the Department of Homeland Security doubled down, saying Garcia has a history of violence and was not the upstanding Maryland man the media has portrayed him. DHS shared court filings in which Abrego Garcia's wife sought a domestic violence restraining order. We already did that. And a 2019 DHS interview document shared with Fox News shows Abrego Garcia admitted to being in the U.S. illegally and claimed to have walked across the desert for many days illegally into the U.S. near McAllen, Texas, on or about March 25, 2012. As a result, Garcia was marked as eligible for deportation in 2019. Why then was he not deported in 2019?
He appeared before judges, was in the stories earlier in 2019, and got a waiver. I don't remember what they call it. I can look it up. Basically saying you can stay here if you go back, there's a threat deemed to you that could happen. In other words, that he would be harmed by gangs in El Salvador. I'll look up the name of what that's called. It's a waiver of some
Wait a minute,
sort.
say that again, John. So he wasn't sent back because he would have been threatened?
In danger
In danger from gangs in El Salvador.
Oh. But it's okay that he's here and he's a threat to the public.
Well,
Well, if nothing else, he has been a threat to his wife.
yeah.
Okay, better. Yeah.
Fox does conveniently leave out the part that they reconciled, et cetera, that the stuff that she said yesterday.
Well, who among us has the wisdom of Solomon here?
I'm pretty damn smart. What do you want to know?
Cut it in
Tell you.
half.
I'll tell you how it should be.
Cut it in half.
Should he be in prison in El Salvador, or did the Trump administration act too hastily?
He should be in prison in El Salvador.
I'm on Team Kenny.
I don't want anything to do with him. Don't let this guy back into our country.
And here's the problem. We've lost the ability to have any type of nuance with any of these stories. If this guy who obviously should have been sent back, well, okay, that's my opinion. But then it's he's harming.
Chris,
this guy. Sorry.
He's already been granted sainthood. It's too late.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ken.
He's already